All right, we're live. Kind of. We're watching the next episode, finally. JoJo, Part 6, Episode 13. The second batch today is September 1st, about to be September 2nd, almost midnight here. We're going to check out this episode, see how it goes. I read the manga, but it's been a while, so I basically remember most things. Probably my favorite part. Probably maybe part 2 though, when you think about it. Maybe part 3 when you think about it. I don't know. But let's see. Let's just take a look here. Let's go ahead. Start now. Started it already. There it is. Okay. Female. Stone Ocean. Let me tell you about it. Oh, wait, is that the alligator that came back or something? Oh, wait, I don't know if that happened yet. That last thing we saw was that guy who could bring back stuff from the dead, right? That looked like a mausoleum there. Mausoleum. But I also read the subtitles because I was testing the audio, so it could just be that. Oh, yes. Defiant. No proof. Troublesome. I just started today. The JoJo game came out. I stopped playing that today. Just got done with it. Is that Giorno? Giorno. What's that? Bread. What was in there? Scent of a woman. Poo-poo? How'd they do that? How'd they do that from there, though? Damn, dude. No exhaustion. Stress is just additive. She did it. She did that. No matter what, man. Jotaro. Don't waste it. You're already wasting it. Stop. The bread. You like the bread, little birdie? Oh, damn. Yo, that's poo. That's poo-poo man. I mean, Poochie. Oh, no. Oh, no. It looks weird there. I don't know why Dio looks so weird in this one. He's Super Saiyan. The music. Read those subtitles. Victor. He got into horoscopes. It was the thing they do back then. Yo, the intro. It's the same thing. I heard there was like 5 seconds different at the end of it. Um, it's just Fortnite. No, she should be in Fortnite though. It's a good intro though. People are spoiled, man. They want another one, another one, another one, another one. I'm glad they did. They don't have to be predictable. Hatashi, Idaho. Would that work? Wow. Reaction mode. Oh, that was the last 5 seconds. Different. It's different. She loves you, man. She loves you. Pen. I was subtitles on the top now. Smack. Did they even ask like the band, or maybe they just said there's too much trouble to even ask? He'll remember. It's Fugo. Fugo's dead. Sports Maximum. The people are silhouettes. Dummy dummy. It's craving coffee. So she's trying to. Yeah, how did she recover? Oh, I see. I forgot about that. Right. Hermes. Here we go. The dramatic music. What happened? Hey yo. Yo, it's her again. What? Money? I thought she was gonna make her squee like a mouse. Toy Danma. They got. She had that newspaper. Where'd they get that from? I don't know. Whatever. Look at this guy. Gangsta. Hey yo. Fufu. Soul Kai. Yeah, that's right. This is the only reason why she came here. Doubt outfit though. Groya. Sister turned mother. Yo, what that outfit though? That outfit though. Hermes. How could she do that, dude? That guy. A baby. Stop looking, man. Stop looking. Why you doing that? She was gonna kill her Hermes. Bruh. Bruh. 5 years? Oh. He's rehabilitated now. Looks like he's okay. He's changed. Gloria. Gloria. Pipe. Brutal. Being squished. Oh, commercial break. Pray. This part was weird, I remember. Gotta pay attention here. Limp Bizkit. So what is it, just an invisible bird? I can take off fingers? What just happened there? Her fingers clean off. How do you know? How's the bird know to go for that? It's like a stand for the body. The ghost is the stand. For them. What now? What now? The alligator. The crocodile. Could you throw paint on it? Or what if it keeps going on and on, like Biggie E? B-I-G, I mean. This saves the animators some time. They better move. Luckily, she's a plankton. What if that happened to Jolene? Brutal. Maybe he always had it. He always no. There you go. It's just an alligator. That's the end of the episode? Damn, that was quick, bro. I think we have to watch the next one. We can't just not watch the next one now. It can't end it like that. We have to watch the alligator battle. I'm gonna skip the intro. Alright, right now I'm at 3:04. I'm gonna hit play right now. In 3, 2, 1. I got my leg though. Look out. Yep. Alright, now we're caught up. Oh, now we're caught up. This is the next part. Spider-Man. She's basically Spider-Man. I got a disc. Instead of arrows, they just give them discs. Hmm. Oh no, she did. It's over. Wait, how did I do that? Okay. Who knew? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, yeah. Okay. It can create weapons. It's like a T-1000, except the T-1000 can only make swords. Foo Fighters can make guns. It can do those things. That's cute. Ora, fa. ちょっと待って. That was quick. An invisible corpse. What? How's that work? What? It's right there, though. Invisible zombies. He's gone. It's over. How'd he get out? He lifted the rivets, bro. The prince. The prince. Poopy water. He has no memory. He does have memory. The chapel. The voice of Whitesnake. Her again. That might be her name. Oh. Oh, he's dead. That's kind of scary. I feel bad for him now. Damn. So he did die. Rest in peace. He used his own stand on him himself. Can she hear him though? Damn. What is that? What is it? What? Why? No. She was cool. He's a zombie. Why didn't he eat the dead guy? Oh, that's a cool scene right there. That was a cool image. That was sick. Metal. Attack the door. We have to think three-dimensionally. No, that's the body. Oh, he's strong. He's already dead, bro. Oh, it's her. It was a trick. Commercial. We'll be right back. We're back. You might have to find the actual body to get the disc, though. His disc. Kochiro Miru? This is kind of weird. He can use his stand while his body's dead. This goes against everything. His body is dead, so the stand lives though, because he is living through his own stand, but he's dead. Huh. You started this battle now. Continued it. BS. Damn. Damn, bro. Damn, bro. It's good to know you. Good knowing you, Hermes. The demons. There he is. Damn, Siamese twinning. What? He knew it. He knew it worked. He's the next Joseph Joestar. He's the new Dio. He's the new Dio. Kono Dio. Not that one. He'll always be dead now. Oh, he swallowed the sticker? But he's dead, though. But he's dead. Oh. She did that too. This one's also for Gloria. And that one. And that one. Damn. This is part 3 soundtrack. Oh, that's nice. Very nice way to end that. I don't remember this. Does she feel it? Yo, her chunks of her flesh are off. The discs, it's like Pokemon. They caught the Pokemon. How'd the disc appear while he's in his ghost form? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, she's dead. It's over, man. It's over. Is that the end? No way, no way. Oh my god, these episodes are so quick. Already, so that's 2 down already out of like, there's like 12. It's 10 more. Damn. So if we watched them all right now, that's like 3 hours. I don't know. Is that the right math? I don't have that time right now. I would. That was good. There's a couple good visuals there. Yeah, when he was bloody. And that ending lighting scene, the ghost scene there. Those are the 2 main ones I could think of right now. Those were very pretty. Very pretty. Alright. Alright, well, I'll see you next time for the next episode. I might do it. Next one, I might cut it. Try to pause it. And then when I think a good part's coming up, I'll unpause it. See how short I can make the reaction video. Instead of editing it, because it takes too damn long. Too lazy. If that doesn't work, then I'll edit it. I'll try to edit it next time. Alright. We'll see what happens next time.